Do you know what activity 80% of teenagers are doing?
I think most teenagers are on MySpace.
Sports?
Basketball.
Loading music and listening to it.
Sex.
It's stealing.
Studying?
Girls getting pregnant.
Hi, my name is Brittany Nguyen.
And my name is Tatiana Valencia.
We asked 100 high school students that question, and not one answered gambling.
And when told the answer, they all had the same reaction.
That's crazy.
Oh, I guess. I don't gamble, but yeah.
Gambling?
Really? Oh, wow. Where do they get the money?
What? Are you serious? For real?
Yeah.
Gambling? Really?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
What? No, dude, no, you have to be wrong.
And when asked if they thought it was an issue, we again got the same response.
So we made this PSA to inform students like you on how big this issue really is.
There are many forms of gambling. These are just a few.
Cards,
Sports betting,
lotteries,
and online poker.
From our research, we found that the students with the gambling problem are not the students that you think it was.
The students most likely to have a gambling problem are those who
Have a good to excellent performance in school,
are motivated,
intelligent,
and don't come from an alcoholic or substance abuse background.
Hi, I'm Tati Valencia, and I'm here in Sacramento with Special Agent Alverez of the FBI in Sacramento to ask him a couple questions about teenage gambling. My first question is, what kind of gambling do you see is most popular within teenagers?
Within teenagers, what we see as sports gambling is their #1 favorite. They love the action of the sports. They love the action of the lines. Baseball, football, basketball, all favorite sports for the kids to gamble on. They could pick up the daily newspaper and see the sports line every morning in the sports section to identify if they're making decent bets or not. The next is we're seeing a lot of internet gambling, and we're seeing a lot of kids getting involved in poker. You can watch cable TV almost any time of the day, and there's a poker tournament. We're finding a lot of kids getting some of the action on some of those poker games.
What kind of problems do these teenagers have?
Well, first of all, is sooner or later they're going to lose. It's the same problems that adults have that are involved in gambling. Sooner or later they're going to lose. When they lose, they're going to start borrowing money from family and friends. They're going to start stealing money. They're going to start maxing out their credit cards. We've even had teenage kids heavily involved in gambling, where they've actually gone out and committed robberies, one even a bank robbery.
Okay, so in some research that we've done, we saw that about 80% of teenagers have gambled at some point in their lives. Out of those, about how many are serious?
From the studies we've seen, almost 8 to 15% of those kids are actually identified as compulsive gamblers.
So it's safe to assume that out of those 8% take it on into their adult life?
Absolutely. If they don't get some type of intervention or some type of counseling, the problem's just going to persist. And it's going to persist in probably a harder way, since now they're adults.
Okay, well, thank you very much. Thank you for taking this time to inform us about this gambling problem.
You're welcome.
The National Council on Problem Gambling estimates that 1 out of every 5 college students who play poker regularly will develop an addiction. Even more startling, studies are finding that gambling habits are beginning in many of America's high schools.
Recently, we had a chance to sit down with former gambler Stewert Pane and ask him some questions.
So, how did you start gambling, and at what age did you start?
I started gambling from the local casinos around my hometown. When I turned 18, I went up to one of the closer ones around my hometown, and that's when I began gambling.
How long did you gamble before you actually caught your problem?
I gambled for about 7 months before I saw I had a really bad problem.
How much money did you spend between those 7 months?
It's kind of hard to tell, but I figured I spent a couple thousand at least. And that's when I realized it was getting bad.
According to the American Psychiatric Association, 10 to 15% of young people surveyed have significant gambling problems. 6% of teens who have tried gambling have become pathological gamblers.
As with adults, problem gambling among adolescents is often associated with high rates of tobacco, alcohol and marijuana use, illegal activities, poor school performance, truancy, suicide, depression, and deep feelings of unhappiness.
Hi, my name is Brian Alvarez. I'm a special agent with the FBI assigned to Sacramento Division. Part of my duties as a special agent, I'm also assigned as a sports representative liaison. Part of the program with the sports rep liaison is we go around different schools, different student athletes and professional athletes, talking about the ill effects of sports gambling, getting involved in gambling, how bookies operate, how bookie runners operate, and some of the pitfalls that a bookie is looking to actually compromise a student athlete, to compromise a game, and to point shave. If you're involved in sports betting with you or your friends, you're going to be contacted one way or another by law enforcement. Most likely, if you're involved in making bets in a sports betting operation, it's involved in a larger organized crime sports bookie operation. The FBI is going to come contact you either two ways. Number one, as a witness to testify as far as your involvement in the bets you've made involved in that operation, or number two, as an actual suspect, being more involved in facilitating and actually assisting that organization. Don't get involved in sports betting. It's not worth it. We understand the ride, the excitement is exciting. Don't get involved in it. It's just not worth it.
If you're concerned about your own gambling or someone you care about, you can get help or answers by calling 1-800-GAMBLER. Or check out any of these other help organizations.